What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and today I'm going to be reviewing a very obscure Disney film, Glory Road from 2006, directed by James Gardner and starring Josh Lucas, Derek Luke, and John Voight. And as the title of this video says, this, in my opinion, is the Disney movie that nobody talks about. I've never heard another person, even like the most hardcore, diehard Disney enthusiast who has an encyclopedic knowledge of all the Disney movies, even the most underrated ones. I've never heard a single person talk about Glory Road. And well, today I'm going to change that. Jumping into it, I theorize that a lot of people probably just forgot that this movie even exists because it's coming off of the coattails of Remember the Titans, the 2000 football movie starring, of course, Denzel Washington, that was also produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, a collaboration between Disney and Jerry Bruckheimer. And I think that that's the more remembered film, that sports film that deals with racial segregation and racial harmony, because frankly, and this is, I don't mean this at all as an insult, I still enjoy the Remember the Titans very well in its own way, but because frankly that's the more sanitized racial segregation film. The N word is never even said in Remember the Titans. They use the word coon instead. It definitely sees the team in that film coming together pretty much during the first half, during the training montage when they're still in training camp before they even come back. It's just more sanitized, and it plays more like kind of like a mythological parable than an authentic movie set during a time of racial segregation and racial turmoil. Whereas this film that we're talking about today holds nothing back. I am thoroughly but pleasantly surprised at Disney for having the brass cojones to rate this movie PG when they use the word nigger hard R and everything. They go all the way. They have scenes where black men get beat up in the bathroom by white racists. They have a scene where the racists leave kind of what would you call it, like an effigy, and they trash one of the players' hotel rooms. The word nigger written in blood, KKK. Just, they go all the way with this movie. They don't hold anything back. They definitely go for realism over feel-good sports movie mythology in Glory Road. And in that aspect only, this Glory Road definitely has an edge up, because as an black man in America, I respect this movie a bit more than I do Remember the Titans for not sanitizing it, just because, it's Disney, for portraying racism, especially during that time, as it was. Black men did get jumped by white people and brutally beat up. In some cases, of course, they were killed. Black people's rooms, hotels, whatever, were broken into, and of course we were called niggers. We're still being called niggers now. So yeah. But anyway, I'm happy that there's no attempt to Disney-fy racism, and because that it doesn't insult my intelligence. Other than that, however, I think Remember the Titans is slightly better. And yeah, I know I've been comparing Glory Road to Remember the Titans, but you obviously just can't help it. I mean, you're probably doing the same thing right now. Remember the Titans is the better movie just because it is a more in-depth character study of the people it portrays on the screen, whether real or fictional, because I did a little bit of brushing up after I watched the movie. Just like Remember the Titans, Glory Road takes all sorts of historical liberties. Not a surprise. All of these based on a true story. Inspirational sports movies do that. So that's not news to me. But with Remember the Titans, I think that there is more time spent on the team developing that bond between one another. There's more time devoted to the coaches. First, they're like, just like the rest of the racially divided team, they're at odds with each other, but then they slowly form a friendship and an understanding, and you really feel that. Whereas here, Glory Road is much more workman-like and formulaic. It jumps from point A to point B to point C. And Josh Lucas, who's, pretty much the Denzel Washington character in this film, he's the coach of this team, just wasn't buying it. He's more intent. He's just as intense as Denzel Washington to Remember the Titans. But again, because Remember the Titans gives you a bit more, provides more cushion room for that character study, for that motivation as to why Denzel's being as hard as he is. You understand it, and you don't dislike Denzel for being as hard on those players as he is, because the movie stops and tells you why he's behaving this way, why he's very militaristic, why he's strict, why he's trying to prepare them for a better life. Whereas here, Josh Lucas technically explains himself. He's not just a straight up asshole or anything like that. Not at all. But there were times where it felt insincere. And there's even a point in the movie where Josh Lucas and all the other white people on, both the team players and the assistant coaches are called out by one of the black players, because to state the obvious, you have no idea what the hell they have to go through because you're white. Even that's called out, and you're being all strict and intense and saying, we got to do this, we got to do that. But it's about more than just basketball. One of the players has to point that out to him. And frankly, points for authenticity, because Josh Lucas is playing a white coach in this movie. So of course they wouldn't have the same shared life experiences. And of course, even Josh Lucas says at the beginning, like, oh, I don't see color, I just see talent. However, that could have, whether it really happened or not, that could have been a point in the movie where Josh Lucas could have at least acknowledged, you know what, we have totally different life experiences. I don't know what you go through. I don't know. I don't understand what it means to be you, but that's never done in this film. All the closest we get in Glory Road to something like that is when he's like, let's shut them up. Let's shut these racist haters up, which, of course is warranted, given what the players go through in this movie, for sure. Because again, nothing's held back in Glory Road. Despite it being PG, there's some scenes, man, where my blood was genuinely boiling. So yeah, you get that, but I feel like I would have been more invested if we did get more of those bonding moments. Even if, go for that mythological, feel good, Rocky sports movie route where it borderlines on, borderlines on absurdity. Like there's so many feel good moments in this movie that it borders on like myth. Go for it, because again, I at least would have felt invested, even though I don't give a shit about football. Every time I watch Remember the Titans, I do feel a little something right here, Whereas with Glory Road, I kind of felt something right here, but not as much, just because, like I said, it's just pretty much, we're here now, we're doing this. This is the big game we got to get through. This is the part in the movie where we prove ourselves, etc. But you don't get enough of those slow character building moments. You don't get enough bonding moments. You get some of them, but just not enough of them to be on the same level as Remember the Titans, where you're rooting for these guys. You're on their side. You want them to go kick some ass. With Glory Road, it's like, yeah, go kick some ass. But just not on that same level. So wrapping it up, I will give Glory Road a 6.5 out of 10. I appreciate the not holding anything back. I appreciate them displaying the intensity and ugliness of racism for what it is and not trying to Disneyfy it and sugarcoat it. I like how they use the hard R word. I like how this movie has a grittier, more realistic feel. I like how it doesn't gloss over black trauma like Remember the Titans does. But unlike Remember the Titans, at the end of the day, this is obviously Disney's attempt to make another feel good sports movie about overcoming racism and racial segregation and obstacles, but it just doesn't fully deliver because you don't feel the same bond that you do in Remember the Titans. And for that, I gotta say I like it a little less than Remember the Titans, though I would say it's worth checking out just to see Disney take the matter of racial segregation and the fact that there was a time, as ironic as it may seem now, but the fact that there was a time where black basketball players were thought of as inferior, and of course some people still think that to this day, but there was a time where, of course, as the movie portrays, in NCAA, there were no black basketball players, or they were always just benched, or there was always just one black basketball player. And I appreciate Disney for not trying to hold anything back and betraying that time period as it was. But other than that, it doesn't really come close to being as memorable as Remember the Titans. So I got to side with the majority out there. Remember the Titans is a better film than this, but Glory Road is not a piece of shit. It's still pretty well done for what it is, for just being that by the numbers, inspirational sports movie based on a true story. It manages to get by just on the fact that I like the grittiness, I like the authenticity, I like the no holds barred, in your face style of filmmaking, as opposed to like kind of the soft parable like nature of Remember the Titans. So again, 6.5 out of 10 for Glory Road. I hope you enjoyed the last Black Movies Matter review for the month of February, bringing Black History Month to a close. But like I said, this is not the last one I'm going to do, so be on the lookout for more movie reviews with the BMM abbreviation in the thumbnail. This has been another edition of Weight Watchers. I'll see you all next time. Peace.